All right, let's start with some news that's just come in, where Kremlin aide Yuri Yushakov has confirmed that Russian President Vladimir Putin will attend the BRICS Summit in New Delhi between the 12th and the 13th of September. Now, this marks Putin's second visit to India in a span of less than a year. New Delhi is all set to host the 18th BRICS Summit under Prime Minister Modi in September 2026 as part of its presidency of the bloc, bringing together leaders from key developing nations at a time of heightened global uncertainty. Now, Putin was previously in India for a two-day visit in December 2025 when he had held talks with the Prime Minister during the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit that is aimed at strengthening bilateral ties. The visit also marked the 25th anniversary of the Declaration of Strategic Partnership between the two nations, first signed during his inaugural trip to India back in 2000. So this is what is coming in as the latest update, where Putin is all set to visit India to attend the BRICS Summit in September. This is a key development considering that this would be Putin's second visit to India in a span of less than 12 months. The BRICS Summit will take place in the month of September, between the 12th and the 13th of September, and a crucial visit by the Russian president, who is going to be here along with the heads of states of other BRICS nations. And remember, BRICS is a grouping that's an interesting, it's not an alliance, it's a grouping of nations that call themselves the Global South. It has China, it has Russia, India, Brazil, South Africa as the key founding members. And subsequently, there are other nations that include the likes of Iran, the United Arab Emirates, etc., who've all joined the BRICS Summit. And my colleague Siddhant Sibil is joining us with more updates on this. Siddhant, there's a crucial update that the Russian president, it is being said, will be in New Delhi for the BRICS Summit in September.
Well, yes, it's confirmed that the Russian president will be traveling to India for the BRICS Summit. Now, this was expected. India is the chair of the BRICS grouping for this year. And we know that earlier this month, the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, had traveled to India for the foreign ministers meeting. Now, for India, the big focus will be first on finding convergences over the issue of West Asia war. Now, during the BRICS foreign ministers meeting, we saw essentially no convergence, and there was no joint statement because the Iranians and the Emiratis were sparring with each other. Now, the big focus will be whether the BRICS can deliver that unity when the leaders, the top leaders, meet in September in the Indian national capital, Delhi. Also, for India, the focus will be to send a message through the BRICS to the Global South, because this is a grouping that is seen by the Global South as important in terms of taking up their matters, including the impact on food, fuel, and fertilizer prices from the crisis that is emerging from West Asia because of closure of the Hormuz. We know that the fuel prices have substantially increased globally, and for Global South, that of course pinches very badly, something that we have seen after the Ukraine war as well. So essentially, India will be taking up that matter. But it is a moment for BRICS in many ways, as an expanded BRICS grouping faces the challenges of finding strategic alignment because it's become a large grouping. Every member has its own priority, and the biggest worry that has emerged is the fact that the Emiratis and the Iranians cannot form a consensus. But the fact that the Russian president is coming showcases the time-tested relationship between India and Russia. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister is expected to travel to Russia later this year for the annual India-Russia Summit. This is a relationship that has several pillars, whether it's energy, with India importing Russian energy, whether it's defense, which has been a long-standing relationship.
Right, indeed, Siddhant Sibil. Thank you very much indeed for joining us with all those updates then. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.